What's that? A two-way prom?
2A prom.
AoE stun?
It was my first 6-star. Don't ask why.
That's such a random unit.
Why was he your first 6-star? Tell me why. I have to
I'll
ask.
tell you why. Listen, because he has defense break, right?
Okay.
Right. So I used to have him faster than my Lucian, so that in theory my Lucian used to do more damage with skill 3. And then a month later, I realized Lucian ignores defense completely.
Is this the guy who has red stars at RTA? Wait a minute. Wow. Aloha, everybody. Welcome back to another podcast. As you can see, we got a 4-man podcast running. And like I said, every other week, we're going to have this kind of bonus nighttime podcast. So we got a different crew and some different people, but some people that you might not have seen in a while, like Lucky Madman and DJ. Welcome back. Last but not least, as you can see in the right corner, we have a very sexy, we have a brand new podcast member joining in. His name is Best Nyx Player in the World. The only believer of resistance. Only person who uses Nyx and RTA. No, I'm just kidding. His name is Faraz. Welcome, Faraz. How you doing today?
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you. I'm doing good.
Go ahead and I let everybody have a moment to kind of like introduce themselves. So if there's anything you want to tell people about yourself, when you got into streaming, how long you've been playing Summoner's War, what rank you are, what certain units that you use that nobody else uses because they may not have it, or even if they have it, it might not be good, so they're not using it. But any of those, feel free to let us know and fill us in.
Been playing for like 5.5 years, Summoner's War. And I was doing YouTube for quite a while, but I got really annoyed by the music thing, where you always try to upload a video and then get monetized or demonetized, whatever. I'm like, forget YouTube. So then I started streaming at the beginning of this year in January. And yeah, and what really pushed me to start streaming was when the change happened, when we can have no cost to changing our runes, right? Then everybody who knows me or has Nyx, I told them it's a very costly thing to do for your account. So don't do it. And then all of a sudden, since we got the RTA change where it doesn't cost anything to change your runes over, everyone wants to do it. So I said, you know what, I'm going to stream because it's a lot easier than replying to 10 people at once how to do something. So I kept streaming from that point on. I really like it. And yeah, I don't know what else to tell you.
That's cool. That's really cool, man. It looks like you've been having a lot of fun, and I'm sure there's a lot of Nyx players out there. And with using Nyx as in RTA, it's potentially a different kind of way to play RTA as well. So it's always interesting to see people and how people think, in picking and banning and actually playing in RTA.
I've been told I have a different kind of style. I don't think I do. I just use different units to fill a certain role, but
yeah,
the idea is still the same. But I do like to show that there are more units that you could be using. You're following the meta just maybe a little too much. You could use a few different other things that fill the role.
Yeah,
and I did get G2.
Just like in Special League, right? Just like in Special League, if you don't know, I saw Faraz doing all light units. I went into a room, I sniped him because I saw him streaming, and he lost to me 5 times in a row. Kappa.
That did not happen, but sure. Okay. Maybe. Maybe.
Anyways, thanks, man. Thanks for the intro, and it's I'm very curious to hear some of your insight then on these topics and topics in the future about Summoner's War. So welcome to the podcast. Welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, let's go ahead and start off with topic number 1. Let's talk about the recent update. Right, recently ComToUs did an update, and the biggest thing about it, which I forgot the small stuff they did as well, but the biggest thing they did was increase space. Yo, DJ, yeah, we got that Rune and grind space, baby.
I thought you were going to say they added music to the dungeon.
Wait, did they?
There wasn't music before?
Wait, what?
They added music to that Steel Fortress.
No, really?
Yeah, that's it.
I thought it was just an intro, though. An intro,
a little
to the
intro music thing.
Is it a different sound, or is it a very similar sound
I don't
to
know.
what we already have?
I didn't know this game had sound.
Okay, well, fun fact, we didn't know that, but the update included new sound for the Steel Fortress. Good to know. Very, very good to know. But what's your thoughts on this update entirely? What else did this update cover? Right, feel free to bring it up and your thoughts on the update.
I think it's pretty nice to have more space in general. I really want the Rune optimizer to have artifact capabilities too.
Yes, okay.
Hopefully soon. Yeah, most of it was like the siege stuff, yeah?
Yeah, I was just talking
Yeah.
about Siege and the tournament and how they're going to do like the reset of it. Really, that was really all mainly covered, right? Outside
Yeah,
of
what
the,
was the whole Siege thing? You want to give me that? Give that to us in a nutshell, Lucky.
So what they spoke about there was the closing time of Siege, which is it's going to end after the Siege this time next week. And then it's going to have the tournament starting from August 24th through the 28th. Those sieges are going to be 12 hours per siege for round 1 on Monday all the way through to Friday, I think it is. So it'll be a siege a day if you make your way through the process for the top 20 guilds. Everyone that's not participating gets to do a one-on-one siege on the 24th. And then they told us how they're going to do like the point reset and whatnot. So it kind of puts us back all at the starting point. Then they also put in the auras, or the entrance effects into the store. There's a fighter one or fighter plus guild level one that's like 800 points. Guardian one, which is 1200 points. Yeah, that was pretty much it, really. And to be able to buy them, you have to be in a guild for like 30 days or longer as well.
Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. All right,
Yeah.
so I mean, I think the rankings to buy those entrances auras are not too bad, huh? So I think it's feasible, right? You get a lot, like out of all the currency we get in the game, I feel like glory points is like one of the fattest currencies for sure. Like in just like from all the daily stuff, right? And weekly stuff.
So the auras are 800 glory guild points for one and 1200 for the other. I think they're fair. Like as a cosmetic, I think it's relatively fair. Like once you get to the end, you have nothing to use your points on. You can pick those or scrolls. So it's really up to you what you can pick between the two.
Okay.
Otherwise, you just hit them banking points.
True. So what do you think about this, Faraz? This update on the siege stuff. Are you currently in a siege yourself though, Faraz?
Yeah, I'm in the top 5 guild.
Oh, which one are you in?
Doubt.
Oh, okay.
EU server.
EU server, okay, because I was like, I don't know what that guild is, but okay.
Yeah, we're top 5 guild. We're prepping for it.
Okay.
But I'm gonna dread, and I'm not sure if just me that thinks this, the violent procs through the actual final when you get to the top 20. Is that gonna be an issue, or are they gonna maybe implement the RTA system to the top 20 competition thing? I'm a horrible siege player.
Why do you think it's gonna be a problem? If in theory that it does proc more on defense, it should be procking more on defense for everybody then technically, right? So it's a fair realm, I guess you could say. In theory. Right? We all know that depending on how much you spend will also dictate how much your defense procs, right?
Very true.
Yeah.
No, you're not wrong.
But
I think
go ahead.
I think that's going to be very interesting about I feel like it's going to be like season 1 RTA, if you remember how that was with rampant and violent procs.
Yeah.
And then I think maybe after that they're going to adjust it. They're going to let it be what it is. And they're like, you know what? Maybe we should add our RTA system to the things. But other than other stuff that they said, nothing was relevant to me. I didn't really think. But one thing today, you guys remember that Gianna thing they did?
Oh yeah. Heard about this. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can't negate a single thing off her anymore with Nyx.
Huh?
Nyx could negate her skill 3. I can't negate a single thing anymore. I thought
it's like a 20% reduction rate of procking it, or what?
30%.
30%, right?
I'm negating the stun. I haven't negated a single thing, and I fought a lot of Giannas.
Okay, that's gonna be interesting. So, keep testing that out, and the next time we have you on podcast, I'm curious. Maybe it's a reverse bug.
I'm not waiting for next pod. I'm probably going to send in a ticket because that's really crippling to my.
Well, how many times did it happen though? Like how many instances? How many instances?
I did 15 wings.
Okay.
And I fought 10 Giannas roughly, and I let them. And Nyx was always let through, and Gianna was always let through.
Okay.
And I watched it. I was able to resist it, so the resistance is still there, but the negation is not anymore.
All right, because if it negates it, that means it reduces it, and it didn't even proc, right? So it should not say resistance.
The negation comes before the resistance with Nyx.
Okay, cool.
So it never came in once out of 4 units. Okay, so I'm pretty sure it might be bugged. I'm like 99.9% sure about it.
Yeah, because if it's doing its third skill, that's 4 units it's hitting. That means it has a 70% chance before accuracy resistance if Nyx is on field, and you're telling me it's landing on every single one for 10 matches? That's kind of a lot, yeah. That's kind of a lot.
Well, you get a note over Nyx's body, says some words where it'll say discernment for his passive.
Uh-huh.
So that never came up once. And I reviewed my matches as well to make sure I didn't miss it.
Interesting.
So about 10 Giannas today, maybe 9 Giannas today. That's happened.
Interesting.
So that's the main my main takeaway from the last patch.
So confirmation, they shadow nerfed the Nyx so that now they can say they buffing Nyx by putting this back. Confirm.
No,
All right,
I hope you're right.
here comes your Nyx buff.
I hope you're right.
Yeah, 30% to 50% chance.
Oh, if you go too much, there's going to be a force ban. It's going to be kind of annoying too.
Yeah, he's pretty strong. I mean, like I would say he's not like strong, but he can be used. I think he's undervalued.
I'm going to stop you right there.
No, I think he's undervalued. I think he's an undervalued unit, but definitely more of a niche pick in a lot of situations. So it's something that I think that works well because a lot of people oftentimes don't know how to handle Nyx. If you want to talk about Nyx a little bit more here, like I've seen some gameplay and some usage. I know you're the expert on it, but I think he's slept on. Yeah, don't think he's SSS tier though, but he's definitely a viable pick.
I'd push him down.
What do you put him at? In a rank from F to triple S? Where do you put him? Yeah, and triple S is like we're talking like the Jaeger ragdolls, right? And then like, well, where would you kind of have him sit?
Okay, so when you look at your anti-CC units, Patter's triple S, right?
Yep.
And when you like where you would draft them, then you have like Josephine. We'll say she's S.
Okay.
Nyx is.
Yeah, wait, this is in the realm of counter CC, right? Is what you're saying?
Yeah,
right?
This is what I'm talking about. Counter CC. So you got Patter. I'll say he's the best, and then we'll say second place is maybe Josephine. I can't think if there might be someone else I'm not thinking of right now. And then any violent cleanser on 100 res is better than Nyx, and then Nyx is below that. So let's say B or A, because even though his passive says 30%, it's not really 30%.
Why is that?
It doesn't work 30% of the time.
It should work.
Like if you told me it was still 20%, I would say yeah, it works 20% of the time. His passive. It could be just my RNG with it, but I don't feel that's actually sitting at 30%.
Okay.
And I keep looking here because my screens are here, but my cam is here. But I am looking at you when I say this.
You're fine. That's interesting. That's very interesting.
That's just and I drafted him a lot. Like everyone knows, I draft him a lot, and I draft him on purpose so I can prove he's garbage. Not in situations he's supposed to be drafted in, but from my trackings of him, like in 6-7 seasons of using him before he was nerfed, and then no, he was only nerfed when he lost his strip. He was nerfed pretty bad, and then I don't feel that 20 from before actually went up to 30%. I don't feel that it's actually there. Sure, sometimes you'll see me on Kenji video, you'll see like I get a good win streak, but if you see me on stream, it's really not that consistent.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, if you're banking on a 30% and you're doing it over the course of matches, I mean, 30% is not really a nice number to bank on for anything, to be honest.
No, but that's why I also top off on being 100 res though with it to like really maximize my chances to counter the CC.
True. But sometimes when you're on 100 res, it's kind of useless though to a certain extent because your opponents are on 85 AC anyways, right? So there is a certain argument to it, but it is easy to be on 100 res, right? What's his res lead? Like 55. Yeah, so it makes it a lot easier.
Finally got him on a tolerance set.
Oh.
So like to get him like to top off everyone to be at 100. So I am legit only looking at the passive of kicking in, but 30% is higher than any violent proc rate. Right, like 30% is like you'll see violent procs way more than you'll see Nyx's passive activating.
Interesting,
right? That's why I don't really believe it's calculating at 30%.
I think there's also some bias as well. I mean, I'll be the first to there'll be some bias because you'll see a lot more units on violent proccing than Nyx is out there to gauge it by. But to a certain extent, I believe that if to you as a player who's using Nyx and using it all the time and it's not good enough yet in that slot where other units that are not even LD95s are doing the functionality, then maybe that unit does deserve a little bit more of a bump. So they've touched him recently. Hopefully they touch him again, man. Because dude, they touch some weird monsters all the time, like Ethna and Water Monkey King. Like what the hell, man? Like, also. You never know, right? Maybe one of the ComTours developers summons a Nyx, then maybe they'll give it a buff.
Yeah,
It's like Light Dragon, right?
Yeah, there you go.
But one thing I just want to touch on with that you said, because
Sure.
you were saying how you will see more violent units and you're going to see like Nyx's passive.
Mm-hmm.
But Nyx's passive works per debuff, like each debuff is an activation. So if you talk about Bastet's AoE, I'm not going to say even Nefties, I can negate Nefties. But every single individual debuff gets a negation chance of 30%.
Oh, I feel like I wonder if there's like a calculating error then, because you imagine like if Nefties puts it up, you know how many different checks that is in 1 second that needed to be done, right? 4 units of checks, like that's
so between 4 units per 4 debuffs, right?
Yeah,
4 debuffs.
4 debuffs on 4
one
units.
gets individual 30% check.
What the heck?
So that's why like you should be seeing it more.
Yeah, wait, that's actually weird. I didn't think about that.
That's the difference I'm talking about.
Huh.
But anyway, I really don't want to rant about Nyx too much here.
That's okay. I mean, we'll continue to talk about it moving forward as well. But yeah, the interaction here with Nyx and Gianna, right? Send in a ticket. I mean, it never hurts to do so. They'll look into it. They actually do look into things. So we'll talk about it here as well. I know that ComTours, they do watch the podcast, so maybe they'll take a quick look into it as well. Maybe it is a problem. Maybe it isn't. Right? These are the bugs that we have to play to like work out, because sometimes it's like little instances between interactions with certain units that these bugs occur. So it's everything needs to just be tested out and reported. Okay, going back to the update, anything else? Kind of like the Siege update, which was kind of interesting, and then the extra space for runes, and a little bit extra space for runes, and then like a massive amount of space for grinds, which I think is great. And then no increase in artifact space yet, but I'm sure they'll do that in the future, right? Slowly but steadily, they'll probably go to like 500 or something next level for artifacts moving forward. But anything else to add for the update portion?
No, I think that was it. That was pretty much it for the patch. And then those errors, the skill changes, that was about it.
Right, the
skills, that's it. Yeah. It was pretty good to see more space. Who's happy about the grind space?
Yeah,
I'm pretty happy about
so
that.
good.
Go ahead, DJ.
The sorting thing is actually pretty nice.
So, the new sorting, right? Tell us
I
a little
wish
about it.
it was in the storage though. Like when you're in the storage and you can sort, that's not an option. It's just when they're outside of storage.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Does it really? I don't know if it makes too much of a difference though, because you can't really equip units with artifacts when they're
Yeah.
So it's like.
But like I want to sort like all the HP things and pull them out, and then do the HP and then put them back.
Right. Okay. And I think that's more for them to do later. I think we're still going to be pushing for more of a artifact kind of management, which I don't see them not doing. It's just when and how they're going to be doing it. So that could come into play with that moving forward, because dude, like this way of putting artifacts on your units is like such a flashback to like how we used to have to do runes, man. It's so bad.
Yeah. It's so messy. Just you're right. Like it's just all over the place, and that's how runes used to be. You're right. That's how runes actually used to be.
You gotta click each one and kind of like remember like what is what where. Like it's ridiculous.
And then when you power it up, they move in like different places again, and it's like, where did it go?
Yeah. It's so. Oh wait. Actually, when you power it up, it goes to the left, doesn't it? Because the most powered up stuff's on the left. So you do get that.
Yeah.
But it's confusing.
Change it where it moves position.
Yeah, when you power up an artifact, like from your artifact, like storage, it'll move in positions to the left. So if you click away, you have to go towards the left.
It used to sit where it would be. So if you wanted to keep going when you're powering up like a bunch of them, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
It would stay still, and then you're like, either I'm going to sell it or I'm going to keep it there. And then instead of bumping you, like it wouldn't go all the way to the left, you could, and then research for your new order of the right. You know what I'm saying? Change that or no? Because I kind of like that.
When the little highlight box stays where you were, even when your artifact moves.
Okay, that's good. As long as they kept that, because I was hoping it wasn't just a bug.
Right. Yeah. But
if you
no matter if they're keeping that or not, artifact management, dude. They need the artifact management. So once they implement that,
it's gonna look messy though. I feel like it'll look kind of messy.
Yeah, maybe it has to be like a separate management. I'm not sure. Like right now, if it's like a rune management, maybe it's, I don't know if they're debating if they want it both in one or they want it separate. I don't think I would mind a separate management. What do you think? You click in for the rune and you have to click in for the artifact, right? Or maybe if you're in the rune one, you can click a button that'll take you to the artifact one.
Rune
one,
that would
artifact
be
good. Yeah, flip between the two.
Yeah. I think that's what it would be.
What I wouldn't mind is if they shorten the monster box info when you have the monsters on your left and you got the box. If they shortened it just so I can have gems and grinds as a row again. I kind of like that, to be
Ah.
honest. I don't like the go into my runes and then go into my management and that. I don't like the
Yep.
multi. I'm not a
There's
big
Okay.
fan of it.
There's a lot of stuff squished into that little section.
Yeah, we have
Yeah,
a lot more stuff.
you can
though, true.
easily stretch a couple things, like, or shorten some other things, just so we can have a neater row. So even if they do include the artifact management, it still looks cleaner. You know what I mean?
I think artifact management's not going to be as complex as rune management because there's only 2 slots, right? So
True.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
flick between the main stat, which when you pick a unit, it should just filter out all the options except for that.
Mhm.
And then you should be able to just sort by whatever you're searching for.
Oh, that's good.
And then you just flick to the other. So you might pick type and then you might pick element, right? And it should automatically just show you all your options. It should be a lot easier than rune management to implement, right?
Right. It's just the coding of it, right? Can you imagine that one guy come to us coding and he's like, damn it, they came out with artifacts. That means they're coming out with artifact management. God damn.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how hard it is to code stuff, but I'm sure it's tedious, right? A little tedious.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, great discussion on the recent updates. So if you are not up to date with the updates, hopefully now you know. Let's move on to topic number 2. Topic number 2. Rune and artifact power-up change. So this kind of goes in hand with kind of what we're talking about with artifacts, right? This is kind of the discussion we've been having a lot about the mana issue and the powering up issue, right? On Tuesday's podcast, we talked a little bit about this mana issue. And, even Ycuz was like, yeah, I'm so upset. Like, I just want to power up runes really fast. It takes too long. I'll pay 5 mil to max a rune or something. Like, he's like, just give me a fixed cost price. How do you think they should address this? And do you think it is a problem? The mana issue and rune and artifact power-up change. What do you think?
I want to start with that. Can we add
But
gems and grinds to this as well?
yeah, sure. Runes, artifacts, and we can talk about gems and grinds as well. We'll talk about the rune artifact first, and then after we talk about that, you can bring up the gem stuff, and we'll incorporate it as well.
It's related to it, is what I'm talking about. But
Go ahead.
I'm definitely for the power up change to. Like, I hate powering up stuff on stream, right? I want to do it quick. Sometimes you can do it quick. Like, it'll take you sometimes 10 seconds to 5 minutes, right? And the cost is ridiculous for artifacts. Clearly, I don't think they're going to reduce the cost. If they didn't reduce it already, everyone's already been complaining, and they didn't reduce it with this last update. I don't feel like they're going to reduce it. I'm kind of worried about that. But if they not lower the cost, but slowly let it progress to get a higher chance of upgrading, if they want some kind of balance to it rather than just instant power up. Though I do want instant power up, don't get me wrong, but I want to be realistic with what we're asking, and I don't feel like they'd give us instant. But if they, every time it fails, let it increase a little bit and a little bit.
Yeah.
I like
you do
that.
need that
I like
soft
that idea.
pity, sure. Like a soft pity on upgrading, right? So every time you fail, it just the rate goes up slightly.
Yeah.
So you get to a point where it should be absolute, right?
Not too small though, because really there is a mana issue with this as well, right? That we're going through.
Right, so I think that's a good idea. I was actually gonna bring that up as well because I think that with that idea, it's kind of like the middle ground of like what they'll actually do. Because I really don't think they'll do an instant power function, right? As much as we want it, I don't think so. But if it happens, hey, great, right? That's the best case scenario. So I think this is a good middle ground and giving us a higher rate of powering up. They've done this in the past with like power up stone events. Now, there's kind of 2 options with this. They can go a way of an approach of, giving us a higher chance of powering up every fail, right? As you stated, right? Maybe it can go up by 5%, right? I don't think it has to go up by a large amount because I think things will power up pretty quickly and it'll actually reduce your mana cost by quite a bit, even like 2% at a time or 5% every fail. It actually reduces the cost by quite a bit in the long term. So it's a big break if we get an increase. The other approach with the power-up stones, I think power-up stones could be good. It does double the rates for all levels. So you're probably going to do it for plus 12 to plus 15, which I find is the most expensive. Okay, because I'm telling players out there, and I've noticed myself too, right? The realistic thing is, if you are a player that's earlier mid-game and you're powering artifacts, don't go 15 right away with all your artifacts because you're gonna be so poor with mana. But if you go to plus 12, it's fairly reasonable to plus 12 your artifacts and be able to use them. And the stat gain difference, I don't think a lot of players need to min-max that at the for the cost of it. They don't need to min-max that. So I think that's a big tip of advice for a lot of the players that are running low on mana is 15 first. 12 first.
Difference, I think.
12 first. Not
Yeah, I
15
think the
first.
biggest mistake I'm hearing of is all these people just maxing out those artifacts. You're spot on, right? Like
Yeah.
artifacts are costing a lot more compared to runes, just based on experience so far.
Yep.
And it's just a big mistake. I think, well, one thing, we don't know what is the best or the best substats to be looking for when it comes to artifacts. So you might be upgrading absolute garbage for all you know. You don't know, like a lot of people don't actually know the min maxes of artifacts, right? You might be maxing out something that could be looking green. Like that's how bad they could be.
Yep.
And some people are just maxing it because they're like, oh, I want to get to that 700 more base HP or that 42 more attack or whatever it may be, without actually really looking into it. It may not be the best thing to do, right?
Right.
Yes, you can argue it. Maybe if you're in a G3 guild and you're trying to max it out for your defenses or something, that's an exception. But you shouldn't be doing that for every single artifact.
Right.
I think you just got to be very careful. And I'm hearing a lot of complaints about mana, but then I hear about everyone trying to max it to 15. It's, that's a mistake that you're making yourself already without really understanding artifacts completely yet.
Right. It's just like an early game player. Like that's if somebody gave the advice or an early game player decided to max all their 135s on all of their units, right? They're going to have a big mana sink for sure, right? Why you early game maxing 135 runes? We don't do that, right? And these runes, I mean, these artifacts give, a nice amount of flat stats, but it's not like game changing for the cost that it is, right? So going back to what I was saying about, we're discussing about the adjustments of the power-ups, right? The other way is maybe if they had a more consistent power-up stone event, right? The one that we could bank on every month, right? Every month there would be a guaranteed event that you can play the game, which would, for CompToUs, give more player and active base interaction that would give us these power-up stones. I think that would be nice. Then players can get to plus 12 on their artifacts, and they can go from 12 to 15 with those stones. And I think that's a big mana break, right? And it also influences, gameplay as well, because you just play the game and you get the power-up stones, right? So there are two options. What do you think, DJ? Give you a chance to give you 2 cents.
What did you mean by instant power-up? Is that like from 0 to 15?
Yeah, something like that. I want to pay X amount for level 9, level 12, level 15, like instant cost.
I want to just get rid of fails.
Okay, explain.
So like you're still powered up one by one. You just can't fail. You pay the price, it goes up.
But that's almost the same thing as an instant cost, right? Because that would be the same price except take time.
But you still get the enjoyment of like rolling the good rune, right? You get to see the 3, the 6, the 9, the 12, your quad speed, right? That's still exciting. So I think that doesn't diminish that part of the game, but it gets rid of this huge time sink that powering up is right now. Because I don't really have a mana problem. It's there's so much to do now, and I only have so much time.
Right.
So that's my biggest thing. And I don't know. Is the fail like really that important? They can just adjust the mana price and then no more fail.
I would like that too.
True. Right. It would slightly defeat the purpose.
In the long run, you do save mana, right?
True.
Yeah.
Like they could crunch the math on that, right? They could crunch the math of what the cost would be.
However much they want it to cost.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a couple of different avenues here. I think we got like 3 different kind of solutions. One of them may be good, all of them may be good, but we come up with 3 really good solutions I think CompToUs should maybe think about. I really like the event one because it really, anything that promotes players to play the game, I think is really good. Yeah, while still, trying to get the same goal. I also like the increased probability as well of powering up. That would be quite nice, right? Maybe it doesn't have to work with runes. Maybe just artifacts. Who knows, right? That does appease a certain area. Just to
Could be a combination of both as well.
Yeah.
Your Power Stone idea monthly on top of increasing probability or instant.
It's like the 1 through 3
wasting time and mana
doesn't fail, right?
Yeah, 1 to 3 doesn't fail. Yeah.
So I mean, they could even bump that up to like 6, so you can test out whatever you're doing. Because by 6, you probably know if you're gonna keep it or sell it.
Yeah.
True. And I think for the 1, 2, 3, since that's automatic, one thing that I've been trying to ask them is, bro, they should just make that one automatic. Like 1, 2, 3, like just go 3.
Just
you know what I mean?
go to 3.
At least for that, right? Go ahead, Lucky.
Do you remember when they first brought out rune management and the power up was actually a lot quicker? Like the animation.
For like
a
couple
it was
days.
like ping, 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 and you'd run out like it would go really. What about if they just made animations faster?
People would still have the mana problem. I think the mana problem is bigger than the time problem, but they're both problems.
I'm personally on the boat that there isn't a mana problem.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I think too,
I think that's just the blatant cop out, and I know that's going to be very. I know a lot of people don't agree with that. I think people are just not knowing how to manage their mana properly, and they are falling for a new avenue. There's new things brought into the game, and now they're just eyeing it off and going, I need to make all these plus 12. They're doing it wrong, right? You're not really managing your mana well enough if that's what's happening. If you're running out of mana, you're probably not doing it well enough. Yeah. You gotta find the right path. You know, you're probably keeping stuff you probably should be selling. It just comes down to managing your mana and being on top of it. Like if you're running out of mana, it's something that you just it's just management. That's all it is, right?
My mana is actually going back up now.
Now that you've finished some of your artifacts for your units, and put them on.
Yeah, I'm going back up as well now. I think I used around 40 or 50 million.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But then it started going like down, and then it's gone like that again.
Yeah.
I've finally got out of the bottom of the pit. So yeah, like it's only because at the start you burn a lot to get a lot of your units onto artifacts, but then you start actually figuring out what you're looking for, and then you start trimming out a lot of the garbage.
Yeah, there's a lot of garbage. There's
actually a lot of garbage. Yeah,
that are so bad.
Yeah. So I also think that there's another mana problem, but the only thing that I'm uncertain about, and I will state, even Lucky DJ, we probably don't know, is what the experience is for the early game player right now, having to do all the power-ups. Because with a new avenue of having to throw mana in, I know as a free-to-play and an early game player, it may have some difficulty. So I want to see how hard it is. Now, if it's hard or a challenge, I don't mind. But if it's a really, really big wall, then, definitely some more mana events or things like that can alleviate that problem for those early and free-to-play players. Because I know that they'll still run into potentially some problems in there, right? Because, they're leveling up units, they're leveling up everything. Like, we take for granted, when we level up a unit, right? 6-star unit, that there's no mana cost, right? It's not as bad, right? And when we summon, we have mana for it. But as free-to-play, you get the scrolls, but now you need the mana to summon the scrolls too, right? So there are some areas that I would like to know a little bit more about before they, address a mana issue if there really is one. But I think you guys are right.
To be honest, I think that's also another cop-out because I'm doing the same thing on this alt account here.
Okay. Or maybe you have some experience on it.
It just comes down to management, right? I'm farming artifacts on this, but I'm not plus 15ing stuff. It just comes down to, I guess, what I may have where other people may not have is a bit more knowledge, if anything, just because I've been around for a bit longer. So I'm knowing what I have to keep versus what I'm selling. I'm farming B12s when I need mana or I'm trying to get more runes there. But I'm just trying to capitalize what I need to focus on that'll help me get past that issue that people are facing, which is I personally don't feel like there's a mana issue. If you spend the resource in the right place, you should be okay. Artifacts aren't going to be the biggest game-changing point for early game players. It should still be runes for early game players, and that should still be your focus for early game.
True.
Artifacts may help you get into areas like BJ5 sooner, but your focus should still be rune farming. And if you're not rune farming well, like as your main priority, then that's where you're going to have those issues. Like you're going to be getting all these artifacts, which you're thinking is going to make the biggest change to your account, but in fact, it's actually not going to make that big of a change.
Yeah. So
just remember that. Because I think that's a lot of issues that people are facing right now.
Actually, I think that as an early game player, I'm gonna have a slight difference in opinion, slight one. I think that the artifacts actually might help them a little bit, just to like plus 12 it and whatever cost it is for that free stats, because you get an okay amount of stats. Yeah. That can actually help out the free to play early game account just to slap random artifacts that are plus 12. Because I think the cost is very minimal. I've been looking; it's been like 100 something or 200k to get to plus 12, maybe slightly more than that.
I think plus 12ing them are fine. Yeah. It's that gap from 12 to 15 that are killing people. And I think that's the issue where a lot of people are trying to max it out, right?
Yeah.
I think if you get them to plus 12, it's okay. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying artifacts are 0% helpful to people. I'm saying that they're not going to be as impactful for you to be able to do the content that you need to be able to do to be able to farm, for example. Like you'd still do that relatively quick, efficiently. Artifacts just help you get through it a little bit quicker. That's all it is.
Fair enough. So maybe the approach of everybody asking for the mana cost to be reduced for artifacts, maybe Contuous can somewhat have a good look by doing like some mana events then coming up. That might potentially help out if the math comes right that it's not really a big issue. Then just give us some mana events. That would definitely be kind of nice. It'd be a nice gesture, to be honest. Any more thoughts on this for us? You wanted to talk a little bit about gems as well? Gems and grinds or something?
Good thing you reminded me.
Go ahead.
Well, me and DJ knows what I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
As we were talking, the use of gems and grinds. Okay, sometimes we put how many into a single spot to try to get at least an 11, right?
Here we go.
7, like let's say HP on a slot 2 speed, you want HP gemmed in. You hit 7. You hit 7. You hit 7 again. Fourth time, you hit 9. You're pissed off. These are purple gems I'm talking about. Same with grinds as well. Why can they not? Now, I believe they should just go 1 up every time. And DJ said it should be a 50-50 chance from the lowest stat. So if you're trying to roll a 4 to a 7 on a 11 grind, for a grind. So you hit 4, you have a 50% chance between all this, like as it normally is. You finally get something higher. Now you can no longer get 4. So let's say you get a 5. So now it's between a 5 and a 6 and a 7. Let's say you finally get a 6. Now it's between a 6 and a 7 when you're doing purples. And it stays that way as well for grinds. And I feel like with all the stuff we have to do now, this is more relevant to talk about. Because you'd be dumping how many gems and grinds sometimes. You can't get lucky all the time, right? To at least get a 10, let's say, on a gem. And then you want to grind hopefully a 6. You're hoping for a 6. If you're lucky, you get a 7. And then sometimes you want to min-max. And like, am I going to risk these very rare purple violent grinds that I'm getting to try to get a 7? Because I really want that 7. Or I want to really use my legend gem or grind. But do I want to risk rolling a 5 when I already have a 6? Because I've rolled a lot of 5s in my legends.
Yeah.
So if we can at least have it, DJ's way is the minimum, I would say. To be a 50-50 way, at least you can still maybe roll the exact same stat you currently have. Let's say it's a 6. And then you can hopefully roll up to a 10 if you're using a legend one. Or I prefer it goes 1 up every single time.
DJ actually brought this up a little while ago. Maybe you guys were discussing this a while too. I remember this discussion.
We were talking about it on his stream. I probably missed that podcast.
Yeah, you guys probably were discussing this a while. I like the idea. I really like the idea. I don't know how quick it would be for people to max all of it, but considering that each rune optimally has a gem, and each rune has multiple grinds, and vile grinds and will grinds are especially vile grinds are still hard to get. I think this is a nice implementation, right? It's a nice progression, and I like it. Right? If you just have a random chance to get each of the stats, whatever you get, you just cannot go below. And your probability gets better and better. Right? And even if you're dropping legends, it still could take you a lot of legends to get to what you want. You could be at 50-50 forever. You know what I mean? And I think this is a great idea. I think this is a really nice idea.
Right now with the legend speeds, right? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Because you get 4, you get 4, you get 4, you get 4 until you get a 5, right? True. It would be the same idea.
I don't want that to be a 50-50 thing, though. That's why I want it guaranteed to give me that 5. If I'm going to blow a legend on it, I want a guaranteed 5 out of that. I already got it to 4 with my purple. Just let me get a 5, and that's it.
Yeah. I think that's a good quality of life change they could make as well, especially with where the game's heading about trying to help early gamers catch up. Yeah, it's a good way to help with the use of gems because, like, you're right, gems is like the most painful experience rolling gems.
Yes.
Like, how many times especially when you get like a violent HP and you're like, sweet, even if it's purple, you're like, yes, let's go, and then it hits 7, and you're like, oh man, I've only seen one of these in the last 2 months of BJ5, and it rolls to 7. You're fuming.
So maybe if they implement it at first for the gems, because we know like gems are like, I always say 10 times harder. I don't know the probability of what the probability of getting gems are, but gems drop mathematically way lower than grinds. So if they implement this at least to gems, that's a step, right? That's a step. And that even then you could still use how many legend gems to get into the max if you want to max, right? So I think that's a really good step. Maybe they don't have to do it for grinds yet. That's fine. But gems, I think definitely. So hard to get and so painful when you roll low. So painful.
Yeah.
No. Okay, I do like that. All right, so good topic here. We discussed a lot about runes, artifacts, and even gem changes. I think this is a good discussion and a healthy discussion about this topic. We'll continue talking about this moving forward because anytime we have topics that we're very passionate about and we think are really good ideas, I notice we continue to talk about them, like rune storage and grind storage, and we finally got it. So we're gonna keep talking about it. We're gonna keep talking about it. Gonna go ahead and move over to topic number 3. Topic number 3. All right, let's talk about unit UI changes. Units and the AIs of them. People are being very, very upset. But I will say we've always had an issue with AI and whatnot in the game. But more so lately, because of this specific dungeon, Steel Fortress. So let's talk about this dungeon, your insight on it, your thoughts on it, as well as what they can do to improve this, and give more understanding towards this AI change or making these units smarter, as people like to say. Yeah. Anybody wants to
I
start?
gave up on it. I stopped.
What do you mean?
I couldn't. I can't do it anymore.
The dungeon
I've tried
sucks.
3 buff blockers. I've tried 4 buff blockers. I'm like, I'm fucking done. I just went to PC and I'm like, they're gonna fix this. And I'll tell you, I was very disappointed to not see it fixed on the last patch. So I'm gonna stay not farming it. It's too infuriating for me. I've tried Pungbake, Zinc, Brig, and who's the fourth one? Who's the fourth one? Dark Vampire. I tried all 4 on the same team. Forget about it. No, I'm not doing it anymore. Until they fix it, I'll never farm it for all I care.
It's frustrating. So do you think it's more of the AI issue, or do you think it's more of the dungeons being so heavily reliant on the block beneficial and not having enough viable units, right? Because I feel like the units for block beneficial right now, we only have a couple, right? That you kind of named and we use. We're even using Unawakened Dark Mr. Witch because we're so desperate. If they had more of those units that had better skill sets, right? Like maybe a healer like Fran, but has block beneficial, right? Or a block beneficial on a skill 1. I think it actually makes that dungeon potentially more feasible.
I don't think it has to have a good skill set. It just has to have buff block on skill 1.
Yeah,
True.
That's all you need. Skill 1 buff
That's
block.
it. It doesn't matter what else the skills are. It just needs buff block on skill 1.
I'll one up you. Buff block on skill 1. That's a multi-hit for like a Lauren. You know what I mean? Multiple chances.
I thought about it a lot about like what would be the best thing to give it to, and I really want them to give it to the Beast Hunters.
Oh, skill 1
That's
Beast Hunter.
particularly OP, by the way.
Specifically fire one.
Don't just brush it off like it's nothing. That's actually, it's good. I would love it.
That dungeon would be like 20 seconds.
Huh? What
Yeah.
does the fire one do?
Exactly.
Like in nukes, right?
And
In nukes.
Mangrim would destroy that dungeon.
Yeah.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
so obviously now that you said that, they're not gonna do that. They're like, we had no idea it's OP. All right, never mind. We were gonna do Beast Hunters. I think it's gonna be in the next 2As. What do you think?
That's a possibility too. Or they just added in a balance patch to something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they usually do that with new PvE stuff.
Mm.
The next balance patch makes the things that they released a little bit easier.
So this is more on the lines of we don't have the right units and the right block beneficial debuffers rather than the AI then, right? Because everybody's revolving their thoughts on how stupid the AI is for Dark Vampire Lord, but yeah.
In my opinion,
vampires in general plays like they're all very special. Because I run Cadiz and I used to run Cadiz, Agar, and Zinc in my team, and I know they've all 3 of them have got their skill. Zinc would be the only one to really use it, but the other 2 they forget they have a second skill.
Yeah.
They just keep doing first skill or Blood Contract, which is the Dark Vamp Lord's 3rd skill.
Yeah.
Otherwise, barely see second skill, and it's like, why? I remember I had my Cadiz proc 4 turns or 5 turns, something ridiculous. First skill, literally just kept doing first skill.
Yeah,
and it's like, why though? You have that skill. The boss has the buffs. Isn't it easy to implement the AI to go? Unit has buffs. I wanna stop it from receiving buffs, or like make it do something that makes it use second skill. I don't know why it doesn't. It's really infuriating seeing that.
It's because of the way it's programmed. That's why the AI of Agar, it's specifically the Dark Vampire Lord. Like I understand the priority because it's gonna prioritize using a buff, right? All units try to prioritize a buff.
Definitely.
So S3. But the reason is because vampires heal on S1. So anytime it's missing health, and it often is missing health, it will try to prioritize S1 because in the program it's trying to the unit is like, oh, I'm out of health, I need to stay alive, right? Because that's my main goal. I need to stay alive. So because their S1 is healing, they're prioritizing S1. So something they could do is, I don't know if this would be that big of a buff, but they would have to like to not change any of the AI, they would just have to buff the S2 of weaken so that it strips. Because anytime there's a buff on the boss, the AI will prioritize trying to strip. That's why we use Gina, right? So maybe strip S2 is going to be like the buff they give, and that will actually kind of mitigate that a little bit, I would say, right?
I feel like a lot of monsters just don't like to use skill 2 though. Like even like Lin
Except
My
Lucian.
Kali.
I was gonna say except
They
Lucian
just
as well.
don't like to use second skill.
For
Yeah,
us.
unless you want them to do, like, not do the second skill, then they do it all the time.
Yeah. So it could be a combination of buffing the current block beneficials so that they're smarter and they'll use it, or it could be, I mean, that and also new units or buffed units, right? Because they randomly buff 3 and 4 stars, I don't know, out of the blue, and they try to make them better. Block beneficial and 2As with block beneficial. Boom. I think that would be fun content too, fun new stuff, right? That could be tested and used.
Next
but-
2A, one of the LDs will have
Yeah,
skill 1
but-
beneficial.
Nyx will have block beneficial. Nice, Perez. You want to buff, right?
No.
You're having
please.
trouble with the dungeon, right, Perez?
The
Nyx
glancing
is,
barely lands. You know what? If it's skill 1 beneficial block, then sure, sign me up.
Yeah.
I'll use the hand steal. I'll take him out of RTA. At least I can farm steel finally.
Do you think that block beneficial could be a feasible RTA mechanic or RTA debuff? Because it's currently not used that much right now. Right? Could it
There's
be?
too many cleansers.
That's what I was thinking.
It's just that's the same thing why Oblivion is garbage, because there's too many cleansers, right? It's just if there's so many cleansers, no matter what, you just cleanse it off. Fran beneficial block, or she does beneficial effects, but she also cleanses, so it's useless.
Yeah.
Veligil does immunity, but he also cleanses, so it's useless. It's just a useless skill when there's so many cleansers that are meta.
Yeah, but I think Testa is meta though. Yeah, as much as people are saying that cleanses and stuff,
He's a little bit.
he's a lot more in
I
meta. I like
him
him.
every time.
I like him.
He is meta.
I like him. Yeah, because typically what happens is when you're using Tessar, I've noticed is that you're gonna draft it and you're gonna peg your units at a certain speed so that you're gonna get rid of a passive and you're gonna nuke, you're gonna kill, you're gonna get rid of a unit, right? Defense break and nuke. So it's set up. So even though they can cleanse, they might not necessarily be able to cleanse when they need to, right? And you can put the block the debuff to prevent them, right? Like on a Verd or something like that, and you're kind of safe now, right? Even if they revenge and stuff. So there are some benefits, right? The survivability of Tessarin coming back as well is kind of nice, right? Being able to take less damage. So, but we'll see. You're right. Cleansers are definitely a big issue for sure to making block beneficial or true. Okay. More thoughts on the Steel Fortress then. It's kind of it, huh? Kind of it. This kind of sucks.
It's the worst dungeon to try run because you could go really well for like an hour and then fail like 10 runs in a row, like a whole refill in a row, just watching it dirt. It's so frustrating. And the most frustrating part is like when it finally does do the skill and then you get the resistance check. And it's like,
yeah.
Cool. Okay. I fail anyway.
Yeah.
It's the worst, but yeah. I don't know. I was kind of hoping this last patch had some sort of change to it.
Same
Made
man.
it like either like an AI change or an adjustment to the dungeon, but yeah, it's kind of sad not seeing anything in there.
I think they're trying to let it simmer for a little while. You know what I mean? It's only been out for a little bit, so they come to us. I don't know if they're just so slow on things or what, but I'd like to think that they're letting it simmer. I don't know, collecting more data on it, because I feel like that from what I hear, every time I hear them talking about stuff, they do a lot of data collection, like on their game, like who's spending mana on what monster is using where. That's why the introduction of those different things in like TOA and dungeons, the suggestions, what people are using the most, like it's just an example of like how much they care about the data and what people are using, right? Of course we tell them what's going on and how we feel, but they base a lot of things on the data, and hopefully they base it on what they're hearing for the community and the data to kind of make improvements for the game together.
Do you remember when R5 came out?
Long time ago.
Like how hard it was?
It was the most stupidest thing in the world. Top players were doing like 3-minute runs. Top players in the world were doing 3-minute runs.
And like one of the biggest issues was leader skills. And then they addressed that in like the next balance patch. So I have a hope for the next balance patch to help it be a lot easier.
The thing is, if we're sitting and hoping for balance patch, man, we're hoping for skill 1 though, right? Because if AI is still garbage, we're only hoping for skill 1. Well, actually, you know what? That's not true. I just remember they do increase AI stuff through balance patch as well, right?
But they do.
Yeah.
They do.
You're right. Yeah. My bad.
Or at least they say they do.
So hopefully, balance patch.
Or it could be sooner in the form of a 2A.
Yeah.
We do a 2A. So
yeah, this month was supposed to be 2A. So I wonder if they're like, all right, we're ready to release the 2As. Oh crap, we see a problem. Damn, should we try to rework these two-way skills into block beneficial then? I don't know. All right, we'll see.
They probably got a wheel on the wall somewhere that has all 5 elements and going, which unit are we going to give skill 1 block beneficial to? Which element is it going to be? And then it landed on water. Bosses win, so yeah.
Oh, yeah, the bosses win. That's right. True. They did say it's going to be some kind of undead theme, though. I don't know where I've been hearing this, but I've been hearing a lot more people said it's an undead theme for the 2As. So that's why people are saying Hellhounds, Grim Reapers, like mummies. So
it's probably a new island then.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a new portal. Like 2 new ones and a new portal or something. It's got to be 2+, because the last one was only 1, right? It was just Griffin. Yeah. It was 1.
They added 1 too. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I like a 2A prom.
What's that? A 2A prom?
2A prom.
AoE stun?
It was my first 6-star. Don't ask why.
That's such a random unit.
Why was he your first 6-star? Tell me why. I have to ask.
I'll tell you why. Listen, because he has defense break, right?
Okay.
Right. So I used to have him faster than my Lucian, so that in theory my Lucian used to do more damage with skill 3. And then a month later, I realized Lucian ignores defense completely.
Is this the guy who has red stars at RTA? Wait a minute. Wow. See, this is true as well, guys. Yeah. If you want to be a Guardian player, you too can be one someday, right? Even if you believe that Lucian does not ignore defense. There you go.
5 years ago. Okay.
What about in like 6 months they nerf Lucian by making it a 50% chance to ignore defense?
All right, we're moving on to next
topic.
topic.
Could have been just ahead of the meta,
you just trying to start problems here, Lucky. Yeah, you just trying to start problems here.
You can just be ahead of the meta.
Nerf too.
You want Lucian nerfed as well?
Yeah.
Really? I mean,
I think we've had Lucian meta long enough.
Yeah,
I wouldn't care either. I don't use Lucian anywhere. Just
anywhere? Like arena? Like I use it just to clear like auto arena. You don't use it? Oh.
Even with arena, I use Savannah Bellinus in arena.
That's so long though. You have the defense break and the damage comes out, bro. I just plug in like a booster and then I just put Lucian. I just auto every single fighter or conqueror like 1 defense. Like auto, because like even 1 derps, the other 3 Lucians, somebody's gonna use amp and it just kills. Just auto. All right. Anyways, let's move on to topic number 4 here. That was some good discussions on Steel Fortress. This discussion definitely needs to be continued because it needs to be addressed. Because if endgame players are still having a lot of fails, I can't imagine how the difficulty is for the early game players and the frustration that they must be feeling as well. So this is a community-wide issue with the dungeon or change that needs to be made. Moving on to topic number 4. All right. So DJ actually gave us this topic here, which was ancient coin, right? What do we think about it? Should it be changed? Should it be improved? Right? It's a shop that's been there for a little while now, and it's based upon doing events, getting coins, and it's spending it on stuff that ideally is exclusive, right? Like the Fran, the Dark Vampire Lord if you don't have it, Osharian, which is the only place you can get Osharian. What are your thoughts on it, DJ? What did you thought was bad? What do you thought can be changed? What can be improved about it?
I kind of forget it exists until the event gives you coins.
True.
Like I don't know. Like the other shop, like it resets. It offers me cool stuff all the time, so I like care about it. But this one, I don't know. I just don't care about it.
Because there's nothing for you to buy, right? Are you a person that so this is what people do. People buy all the exclusive stuff, right? I recommend buying everything you don't have because that's the only place you can get it, right? Dark Cowgirl. I don't even know if you use it, just get it, right? Fran, obviously. Agar, if you don't have it. Osharian, right? Exclusive stuff from there. And in the future, when they make new exclusive like one-off stuff, I'm sure they're gonna also put it in there, right? But other than that, do you buy reaps and other stuff? I buy nothing because I'm waiting for them to release something exclusive in there, right? But
I bought reaps before, but I think I have a bunch of coins right now because they just sit there because I forget the shop exists and I don't even look at it.
Every time I hit 100, I buy a re-app.
Really? It's valuable enough?
I don't buy re-apps with actual money, so I buy take any free re-app I can get.
True, but is that valuable to you though? Is that valuable to you though? I'm curious, right? Because there's a balance, right? Because obviously you don't spend, so that's the only way you can get a re-app. But the other argument is that if you were to spend, this would be the value of the re-app, and all your hard work for 100 coins for that value, was that worth it? Right?
Well, legendary summoning pieces, absolutely not. Summoning stones, absolutely not.
No.
Random 6-star rune, you can select it. Okay, that might have value for new players.
So
And
I tell
then
people to avoid that one because they always give flats or garbage, right? And now with B12s,
okay, so
it's pretty garbage.
reaps is the best value out of this. If you don't have the other units, like a Fran, I guess you want a Fran. Aegir, who cares about him? Just take your Fran and then go get your reaps. I always want reaps. I should buy a reap right now. There we go. I can't buy one right now. I always buy reaps out of it. I'm happy to buy reaps out of it. They can add whatever they want. If you know what, make reaps cheaper. If anything, make it 80 coins instead of 100. That's my input.
Okay.
I always just want to get reaps out of it. Anywhere
Sure.
I can get reaps, that's all I want.
It's limited too, so even if they reduce the price, it's limited on how much people can buy of it. True. Very true. Go ahead,
Paddy
Lucky.
just mentioned something in chat. He said, "What about if they added immemorials there?"
Yeah, that's one of the things I was thinking.
Okay,
Add
I like that.
Imperials, maybe LD pieces.
That can entice me to go out of reaps.
Right. What
If it's
I
legend.
what I was thinking that they were gonna add there is the conversion stones. You know, the Nat 5 conversion stone with the legend. I thought that because, you know, if you don't know that there was 3 different ways to use your special conversions, right? 3 stars, 4 stars, and the Nat 5 to get a guaranteed legend conversions, whatever. So since they removed that from the patch, I thought that they were gonna put it into that coin shop, right? Because it's still, you know, random and it's exclusive and it's something for you to get that you can't get anywhere else guaranteed. So there might be some value and some merit to it, and it's something that everybody has access to fairly. What are your thoughts?
I feel like
At what
those are
cost?
so bad.
Yeah, they are bad. That's why I thought they were gonna put them in there. I mean, it's better than.
Honestly, I don't find them very valuable on personally. Like a max purple, perfectly fine with me. With the conversion. So to not get a re-up, instead get a conversion, a legend one.
Yeah.
I'm still getting re-ups myself.
Okay. What about
A legend immemorial gem
Mhm.
is the only exception, I think, for me.
What about if they added LD pieces?
A lot of people would burn it in there. I'll tell you that. A lot of people would do it. A lot of people like to just anything the word LD is they get it. Like glory points, guild war points, don't matter, bro. LD, they get it.
The first thing I buy every week is the LD pieces.
See, there you go.
LD.
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think I would still get re-ups. I'm just so re-up hungry.
Right.
I would only get re-ups. They can add anything to that. Like I said, a legend immemorial, maybe. Anything else, I'll just take a re-up over it any day.
So for my account, I'm just a big advocate of just saving it, right? It's like a conservative or an aggressive player. You know what I mean? You're an aggressive player. Use every resource now, right? Money now is worth more than money later, right? But I'm a more of conservative. So I save up all my coins. I got like what 3K ancient coins now. I don't know how much I have. Probably around 3,000 ancient coins. I figured that if they release anything exclusive, I want to be the first to get it. First off, I can make content on it, right? If they release a Sharin or something, it's only gonna come out of there. So obviously I want to buy it, and it's gonna be kind of expensive. Secondly, if I ever want to buy re-apps, it's not like I'm missing out. Just because you bought 20 re-apps before doesn't mean I'm missing out, right? I could just slap them all right now and buy like, 30 re-apps right now instantly. So
True.
I'm just kind of holding off on it because I think they're gonna put something exclusive there in the future or something with a little bit more value than even the re-apps. Because I tell myself I do spend in the game, and if I really wanted re-apps, I would have rather buy a $29.99 pack for 750 crystals and 5 re-apps than spend a 100 event points that take 2 events or more to farm in order to get, right? So that's my argument. But I think everybody has a different perspective. So yeah,
it's a good argument if you have the funds for it to just say I'm gonna go buy re-apps rather than not spend the re-apps.
I don't buy re-up packs though. I think I bought one set ever.
You don't?
But my mentality is because if I do really want to do re-ups and I think it'd be good, I do spend so I can go buy a re-up pack, right?
Oh, okay.
But if you're free to play and you decided you're not going to spend any more, then different mindset in that situation. So
I'm not free to play, but I'm not a whale. I'm not even a dolphin. There's the times I spend, but that's why like. Reaps is like right on like between Devilmon and Reaps. Like obviously you get every Devilmon you get, but you can only get one a month or once a week from buying. And then I look at Reaps, I'm like, since I'm not really dumping my money into Reaps, I should just get every single Reap possible. So that's why I'm inclined to the Reaps, nothing else.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And
I'm not sure if they would ever add anything that values more than a Reap. is also what I'm getting at.
You never
I
know.
don't know what they did.
Right,
I like sure they added Alsherion. I went out of my way and got it, and I fully skilled it, and I never used it.
right,
So that's how many coins I could have used for getting a re-app instead, right?
But you probably still want the unit just in case, right? That's like saying like this Nat 5 sucks, but would you rather just have it on your account? Like I might like if they had a Christina in the shop, I'd pay the ancient crystals just to have it if it's exclusive, right? Even though it sucks because you can't get it anywhere else, just in case, right? Something becomes like OP.
Yeah. They should have done that. That's such a good idea. For Christina, they should have done that.
I've been very conservative what I've done. Like even in this game, ever since I've started playing till when they released Ancient Crystals, which only was a couple years ago. That's how many years of saving. I didn't feed a single dupe, and I reaped the rewards infinitely.
I'm very impressed with you on that. I remember that.
That was crazy, dude. Video. When that came out, I was like, "This is my time."
Like, you're actually the first person I thought of. I'm like, "Fuck." Brian is gonna be filthy rich out of this.
It was like the week after. It was like the week after I had It was a week after I had Make It a Butt on the stream. Yeah, it's a week after I had Make It a Butt on the stream, and Make It a Butt was like, yeah, just feed my Nat 5 for skill ups, and we fed it to skill up something, dude, just because he wanted people to tell. He was so mad the next week. He was like, "What? They could have had ancient crystals."
Do you remember? Anyone remember that I clipped Chris feeding? He got everything from a stone rotation except what he wanted. I think it was like a Diana or something he wanted. He got a Wusa Perna, but he wouldn't get the Diana. He fed everything into what he finally got, the Diana. He was like 5 Nat 5s. This was prior to Ancient Crystals.
Yeah.
So it's like everybody just regrets doing stuff like that.
We have that clip. I've seen that clip circling. Yep. Still has a clip of him feeding 5 Nat 5 just cause, dude. That's so much value now, you know what I mean? Like that's so much value. Lucky you were gonna include something to talk about Ancient Crystals.
Yeah, so something I was mentioned in chat was what about if they added 4-star skill ups into that ancient coin shop?
Even Devilmon.
Oh. Yeah, there's some value there that could be more than re-ups for some of the early game players. 4-star skill ups. That's pretty big, especially for a free-to-play player. So. Right? Like maxing a Lucian or maxing a Galleon, and you don't have the funds to summon and get those or fuse them. That's true.
You always get event points, right? Events are almost always running, and you get some form of event coins. You can almost get. What about if they position it in a point where you can get maybe 1 or 2 skill ups in a month on top of your Devilmons? That'd be pretty cool.
I like that because it has diminishing value anyways in the future, right? For endgame players. So it's not like it's broken throughout. Another thing, how about 4-star blessings? There's no other way to get it in the game.
Yeah.
I think they're useful.
Well, early game players would be very intrigued to get those, definitely.
I think skill ups for sure. 4-star skill ups, why not? I think that's great. And put it at a low cost too, like 50 maybe.
Yeah, 50, like something really minimal.
Even that's too much, but I'll just say 50. Even I would buy it. You know, I've been trying to get gargoyle skill ups for the light and dark ones, and I can't. I'm not getting them. I'm like, well, if there was a specific way for me, I'm not gonna put obviously 5-star Devilmon into them. So if they release 4-star, I would actually go out of my way for a little while and pick those up just so I can max my gargoyle.
I like that.
For example, but like. A 4-star blessing, I'm not a fan of blessings in general.
It's for the early game players.
I think it would help early game if they're hunting like their Galleon.
It's probably something I don't really understand. I don't really care for them. But a 4-star skill up, fuck yeah. Sign me up. Sign me up. I'm on that. I'm on board.
I like that.
We've been waiting a very long time for something like it.
Yeah. I think it promotes gameplay as well, right? Something for them to farm on the monthly that is limited, and it's farmed through playing the events, which is farmed through logging in daily on some of the events. I like that idea a lot, actually. Yeah. That's a very, very good suggestion.
And give more ancient coins if they're going to add more stuff too, instead of like 20-30.
Yeah. Or just more events. I'll take more events, man. They drop a fat ton of events. Like, let's get some double stacked events constantly, man. Yeah, double events.
That'll entice me to check.
They've been doing some good events. I mean, it's because it's 6-year anniversary, but they've been doing some fat events, man. It's been pretty lit.
I like it.
I really like the 4-star event. I think you wanted to talk a little about that as well, right, DJ? The choose a 4-star and choose an LD3. I like that event. Quite a bit. How often do you think they should do it in a year, though?
I like that event. I don't like that the exclamation point pops up every fucking day when I have another summon when I already summoned my thing. It irritated me so much for like
OCD,
3
right?
weeks.
Yeah, these are you're probably the same person that had that problem when there was the glitch with the new runes and artifacts or
Oh my
whatnot.
god, I hated that
Yeah.
so much. Didn't
Oh,
even
the
look
new
at my
rune thing? Yeah, that triggered me. I was like, wait, I didn't get new violent runes, and I went in there. It's like all my powered up runes.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah, that's an internal glitch though. That's something that's just a bug they need to just fix, which they typically do. But by the time the event's done, I mean, they'll probably fix it like after, if anything. So they're not too messed to do it, right?
I do think that they should give more 4-stars though, especially with the artifact conversion stones that they just added.
Mhm.
Because like feeding the 4-star is how you get the like good one, right? The legend one. The chance at it at least.
That's true. That's very true. So how many times do you think they should have it a year? I think right now we get it like twice a year, maybe like 4-star events, maybe like 4 times a year would be kind of nice, or every quarter. I don't think that's too bad.
Every 3-ish months, that sounds reasonable.
Yeah, every 3-ish months. That's like that cycle's enough. And I think the addition of the new LD3 is kind of nice, but
I really like that too. Yeah.
I like that a lot. It really will help the players to get what they want, but it also devalues the LD scroll for early game players. But I mean, LD scrolls are tough enough, right? We know they're stupid rates, so I don't think that should be really a big issue. Honestly, it still has a lot of value for LDs.
I mean, I think it's good for early game players because, like, there shouldn't really be too much value in LD scrolls for early game players. I think they've already got enough things to focus on. LD should just be like an icing on the cake sort of feeling.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and hop over to topic number 5. Yeah, so we got some time left. It's open discussion. Anything you want to bring up, anything you want to talk about, feel free to bring it up. Could be any topic, could be about any unit, buff, nerf, anything. All right, so open discussion here.
Oh, we talked about improving the grinds, right? What if we just made R6 and it doesn't drop blues?
Ooh.
I think that's I think that update is for 7th year anniversary during the shift the shift X2, the shift
Oh,
the
the
shift
shift.
2.0
Yeah,
next
the
year.
Super
The super shift. Yeah.
Super shit.
It's going to be the new R6 with new elemental beasts, Super Saiyans, and because they'll drop, because the Super Saiyan elemental beasts will drop more of the condensed crystals that everybody freaking needs that doesn't drop, right? The pink ones and the blue and then the pink ones and the white ones. And what else is it gonna be?
I want to sell the white one.
The super shift. That's what it's gonna be called. Yes, I agree.
Just cuck all the BJ fight, all the people that do BJ, they're gonna make it 3 phases.
Yep, 3 phases. BJ5, so it's gonna be BJ6 now, right? It's gonna have a lower chance of dropping Rainbowmon, right? Because everybody has 99 Rainbowmon now from BJ5.
Actually, you did remind me though. I did want to talk about that as well. If they tighten up the drops, I'm sure it's been brought up before, but I want to bring it up again.
Sure. What drop?
Just
Which
because we have
drops?
so much to do now.
Okay.
Why am I getting 1 summoning stone? Right. I know this has been brought up, but I'm going to bring it up again after the fact.
Go ahead.
Since we have artifacts now. 1 summoning stone. Why do I need that? Especially when you're not giving me mana on the side. Rainbow. I don't need Rainbow Money anymore. I'm going to get that from farming my Kairos dungeons, right? Like if they tightened up R5 a bit, like with the drops, why not? There's so much. Even take out some, what do you call it? Transmog stones. I don't care to get them from R5 specifically. Just let me get strictly gems and grinds. Is that too much?
I think certain things in what you said, in my opinion, can be taken out. Like I think the summoning stones, yeah, can be taken out. But I mean, I think it's more of an issue of what the probability breakdown is. You know what I mean? So I would care more about the probability breakdown than what somebody tells me they feel they're getting a lot of. You know what I mean? Like if it's a certain drop rate that's reasonable, I don't know the drop rate for it. They don't tell us for any of these rates. So it would be nice to know like the rate of drops. But if the rates were adjusted down a little bit, that'd be better, right? But certain things can get removed. I mean, the summoning stones. I mean, we don't really need it in there, and we don't get mana with it, so it does kind of suck. Or maybe boost that up a little bit. Like in my opinion, summoning stones are very valuable, right? As much as people call them scam stones, they are insanely valuable. I don't care how bad your luck is. I don't care what you say about summoning stones.
From Guild Wars every week.
It's nuts. It's a specific pool of 3, 4s, 5s. That's insane.
Do you know how many I spent for Ganny?
Oh,
Probably a lot. How much have you spent?
122,000.
And you only summon on the Ganny rotations.
122,000 summoning stones.
You know it's 30,000 on average to get a specific Nat 5 and you're 120,000?
Him, and I don't have any.
Let me guess. You got all the other Nat 5s. You're in one of those.
Hella other Nat 5. It's not good.
This man sucks at rolling 1 and 3s, man.
What about if they just yoinked the mana out of the drop and made mana a fixed drop, and you only got like a fraction of what you get right now for R5? Like you got guaranteed maybe 3,000 or 4,000 mana per run. Like right now you get up to like, well, you can get 16 to like 20, 22, 24,000. Yeah. What about if they just made it like 3,000 or 4,000 a run, and that pulled mana completely out of one of the fixed drops or one of the drops right now? Sorry. So like, so that will kind of balance everything out. So yeah. Okay. Get mana and something.
I like that.
Yeah, just taking 2 things out of the drops could be pretty significant.
You know what I want to see?
Stones and mana separating. That's 2 things out.
You know what I want to see?
I don't know if I'd take stones out. I'd probably bump stones up to maybe 3 to 5. Like you get 3 to 5 stones per if you got stones as a drop.
I never understood why stones drop so little. Like you need what? 20-something stone drops to get 1 mystical scroll. I mean, I realize it's a smaller pool, but that's.
I think their math is supposed to be like
scrolls.
1 and 3,
no,
right?
There's no justification for a single stone drop.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah. Some places drop 1.
Yeah. Like what I want to see from raids as a reward. It's just for fun, random thought. They should have like a random RNG drop for the people you raid with, and one random person gets a bonus drop. And I mean, I don't what the level of what is dropped, maybe other grinds, or the level of what is dropped is maybe just additional mana or that extra summoning stone or a transmog stone. But just a random person that raided gets a random extra drop. I think that would be kind of fun, to be honest. But I mean,
every single time,
right? So just 1 out of 3, someone will get lucky. You know, just 1 out of 3, just for some fun RNG, right? It could just be mana. It could just be an extra summoning stone. It could just be something small, or it could be something big. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know, just for like fun banter. Just for fun banter. We all know that we ain't the ones getting the bonus, right? But
no,
it'd be kind of fun. I don't know. And that's where they can move. Like we're discussing, that's where they can move that potential drop, right? Maybe they can change it 1 and 3 drop for the Rabelmon, right? For everybody, the 1 and 3 drop for the mana, and by taking those out, that increases the pool for the grinds and gems significantly, actually. Yeah. So it could be a possibility. Right, and the reward can obviously be extrapolated, right? How much mana and Rabelmon would you have farmed doing raids right now? And X amount of mana with X amount of runs. So 1 out of 3 chance to get a reward, and they correlate that amount of mana and Rabelmons that you should get into a 1 in 3 chance, and on average, you should still get approximately that amount. You know what I mean? Or maybe a little less, right? They can do the math on that, or whatever it would be. So yeah, be cool. Right, something random, a little bonus box, kind of nice. I don't think it should be MVP though. What do you think? It shouldn't be MVP, right? Like the person that did
RNG.
The most.
This game's all about RNG, right? Someone gets it, just randomly drops to someone. That's it.
Yeah, random. I think random would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, randomly to the guy in the 3rd slot. Every time, randomly, he gets it every time. That's how random it. That's how random works, right?
I get the worst luck, man, when I'm doing BG5s, bro. Like it's bro. I just see like the other 2 guys just get some nut stuff, man. After nut stuff, and I get like the most BS stuff ever, dude. It's so ridiculous. I've seen the same guy. I've seen the same guy get like 5 legends.
I get nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Since we're talking about R5, can we get a replay button in there instead of having to go back to the lobby to hit ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no need for, there's one, yeah, you're right, you reminded me. There's no need for that extra step going back to the lobby. Why do we have to go back to the lobby?
No. They have to go back to, no, say they improve the part where everybody just press ready, and when everybody's ready, the leader doesn't have to start, right? Anybody that press ready is going to be ready, right? They fixed that. The reason they go back is because if anybody wants to make an adjustment to the team, it's easier like that. Right, or else you'd have to communicate with people, and be like, "Oh, guys, don't press ready because we need to go out of this and back to go back to that screen to do it." Right? Because they could have easily just implemented ready after you finish the run. You could just ready again and start the next run. Ready, start again next run. Right? Doesn't have to go back. But I think they go back because logistically, if you want to change something, you can. But right.
But then what about if one person goes back to the lobby, then everyone goes back to the lobby? Like, wouldn't that be easier? Like ready?
Right.
But if someone returns to lobby, then everyone gets forced back to the lobby. Otherwise,
Yeah.
ready, and then it just goes through.
Right. Okay. I like that. Then it's a less of a processing that needs to be done, right? And if you want to fix, you just press no, and it forces everybody back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. Quality of
We
life
saved
stuff.
it. Good.
Yep. You like
Get
how
that
you like
one
how we're
extra step
trying
out
to
of my
improve
food.
BJ5s even faster than it already is.
Everyone's worried about the crystals now. Imagine having that.
Like we start doing like Katarina R5s, right? I think I did a video with you for that DJ, right? Katarina Balaguer, and then after that, now it's this Katarina R5s, and then it's like a minute, and then now it's like BJ5s, which is like 20 seconds, and then after that they want to fix it so we could just all press ready and go back faster, and now we're trying to go back as soon as we finish a run. Like it's so crazy, dude. It's so
Perfection.
crazy.
Public BJ5 would be a pain because you'll always have that one troll.
Yeah.
Goes back to lobby.
Oh, true. I mean, I usually raid with like people I know for the most part. So.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
That's not a big deal. You can still do it with public though, but there's no point. That troll is kind of like pointless. People just kick you or leave, right? So pretty pointless. Definitely. All right. Anything else you guys want to bring up? Any last topics here? No. All right. Very good podcast today. We covered a lot of different things. I thought these topics were like minor topics and stuff, but we kind of elaborated and came up with like some really good stuff this podcast. This was really, really good. So thank you guys for taking the time to join me on the podcast today. DJ KJK, Faraz, and Lucky will put the links to all of your Twitch channels down below. Everybody here streams all different times. Make sure you guys join in, ask questions, and give suggestions as well. Because things that you guys talk with anybody else, any of these other streamers that come on my podcast, you join the stream, you talk to them, right? And you guys come up with stuff. The next time they come onto these streams, right? They'll be conveying those thoughts and those comments that you guys gave them. So, yeah. But all right, as always, I'll see you guys on the next. Oh, actually, make sure you guys leave those comments down below as well. Hit that like, and I'll see you guys on the next live streamer podcast. Peace out, everybody. All right. Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank
Catch you
you.
later. See ya.